the bolster unemployment insurance ran out at the end of July. A lot of folks have now spent the stimulus payments they may have received in the spring, and businesses have largely tapped a lot of the benefits through the PPP and other tax incentives. And as we're seeing cases rise in many places and economic activity receding, I think that does show that these kinds of interventions can be effective if properly targeted. And so it'll be important for Congress to think about that and take those lessons in mind when thinking about the next phase of relief. As part of Phase 4, there have been now two major bills proposed, one by the House Democrats, known as the HEROES Act, one by Senate Republicans, known as the HEALS Act, both of which adopt very similar structure for the stimulus payments as the first round of stimulus payments were. So it would, for adults, be $1,200 single, $2,400 for families. The big difference is both sets of proposals there expand the eligibility for dependents beyond qualifying children. So a big group of people who missed out on the stimulus payments last time were adult dependents. Think about college students who are of adult age, disabled adults who may not be working and are dependent on another household. Those individuals did not receive a rebate of their own. The folks who they are dependent on did not receive a rebate themselves either. And so this change in both of these proposals allows a dependent payment to be made for those individuals, which expands the eligibility a bit there. The big disagreement is whether or not there should be a $500 payment similar to CARES Act for those dependents, or as House Democrats proposed in the HEROES Act, whether or not it should go up to $1,200. The IRS and Treasury would still use your 2018 or 2019 income. So one difference, I think that's not particular to each proposal, but is true in the circumstances surrounding them, is a lot of folks have now filed their 2019 returns when they may not have in the spring, because we hit that July 15th filing deadline. And so folks may be waiting to see their returns processed, or they may be using a new income, right? You may have households who had their 2018 income used back in March and April for their first payment, and they may have a different 2019 income, which may govern a difference, may mean that they get a different stimulus payment in the subsequent round of relief. There's a lot of confusion about this in the CARES Act, is that if you do end up having a different income in 2020, let's say a lower income than in 18 or 19, you will end up getting the difference in your 2020 tax return. And any difference is to the taxpayer's benefit. So if you did see a decline in your 2020 income that meant that you are eligible for an additional stimulus payment, you will get that in the form of a credit in your 2020 tax return. But none of the payments will be clawed back. So if you are fortunate enough to see your income increase, you would not have to pay something back to the government next tax season. And that's also true of all the proposals here now. It'll be identical to what happened in CARES.
Invest in you. Ready, set, grow. CNBC and Acorns.